Hey everyone, and welcome to Älvan with Älvan. And today I am going to read for you part 3 of Prince Sebastian and the Frog. Part 3. The frog leans its head against my neck and rubs lightly. Thank you, I say. The frog jumps into my hands again. Thank you for listening and understanding. My name is Sebastian. Somehow it feels like you're not quite like other frogs. Is that true? I ask. The frog looks back at me with anticipation in its eyes and moves its body as if nodding in response. It jumps down onto the rock further down the beach, then looks back at me as if urging me to follow. I get up and follow the frog, who has now reached the beach and is sitting on the sand. I sit down and look expectantly at the frog. The frog then takes its hand and draws in the sand. It starts with something that looks like a C. C, I ask, and the frog nods. Then comes something that looks like an H, and then an R. The frog now starts to tremble slightly, and it looks like a real effort for it to write these letters. Strange. It didn't seem to have any problem jumping around before. I wonder why that is. Then the frog writes an I, and it looks like sweat is beading on the poor little frog's head. It draws something that looks like an S, but then all of a sudden it falls over. I quickly pick it up in my hands. The frog is way too hot, getting hotter still, and it shakes with convulsions. My first thought is that I need to bring the frog's temperature down, so I quickly and carefully carry it down to the water and crouch down and hold it in a way that keeps its head above the surface of the water while its body cools down below, and massage it gently. Time passes, and finally I feel the frog's tremors getting smaller and smaller until they finally stop. After a long moment, the frog opens its eyes again and looks up at me gratefully. I say, "You can't tell me who you are, can you?" The frog looks at me but doesn't answer. "It's okay," I say. "There must be some kind of curse on you that prevents you from telling anyone who you are." The frog looks back at me gratefully. The question is, how can we find a way to break it? The frog looks sad, and I realize, you don't know that either. The frog looks back in agreement. It's okay, don't lose heart. Unfortunately, we don't have any magicians in the kingdom, but we have a huge library. I'm sure I can find a way to break your curse there. The frog looks back at me gratefully. "How are you now?" I ask. "Have you gotten better?" The frog nods in response. "That's great to hear," I say. "I was so worried when you had convulsions and didn't really know how to help you." "Oh, I forgot. Chris. You wrote Chris in the sand. Don't answer now. I don't want you to get hurt again. But Chris, it has to be a shortening for something, right? What could it be?" "Christian." The frog looks at me sourly. Not that. "Christina?" The frog turns around, irritated. I smile. "Not that either." "Christopher?" The frog quickly turns and smiles. "I'm so glad to have met you, Christopher, and I promise I will do everything I can to break your curse." The frog croaks in response. Let's find a way to communicate. If you croak once, it means yes, and 2 quick croaks means no, and maybe you could jump up and down a little quickly if you want my attention. The frog croaks once more in response. Great. I think I have to go back now. If I don't, they will surely be worried. Would you like to come along? I ask. The frog quickly croaks twice and looks at the lake. I understand what it wants to say. You need to be here and can't come with me, I reply. The frog croaks once more in response. I understand, I reply. I'll just come here to visit you instead. Are you hungry? Would you like me to bring you food? I ask. The frog croaks twice quickly in response. I see, either you have everything here that you need to eat, or you don't need to eat because of your curse. Don't answer. I don't want you to have cramps again. I stroke it over the back with my thumb and say, I'll go to the library tonight to see what I can find. I will come back again tomorrow. I gently lean my head towards the frog and place my cheek against the frog's cheek. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, Christopher, I say carefully, placing the frog back on the ground and turning to go back. A sense of loss arises within me, and I marvel at how such a small being can make me feel so much. I turn and wave goodbye to Christopher, who jumps up and down in response. And that was it, everyone. That was part 3 of Prince Sebastian and the Frog. Bye, 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 everyone.